If you are watching this video right now, you are about to witness the most pivotal moment in my life. My life is going to be changed forever after this moment. And that is all thanks to Mimi. Let me just say, I am a little scared. Actually, I'm a lot of scared. I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect, but I've gone my whole life avoiding something, and this is the moment that I can no longer avoid it. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessie. Welcome to Bookmas Day 11. I don't even know anymore. I'm questioning everything at this point. So when I was coming up with my Bookmas video ideas, I had an idea to do a book swap with another booktuber. So I posted in my community page looking for a booktuber that would be willing to do said book swap with me. I was a little nervous. Nobody was going to agree to do it with me, and I was going to have to come up with something else. But luckily, Mimi did. Thank you, Mimi. You are one of my true supporters on this channel, and I appreciate you so much. If you have not seen Mimi's channel, please go subscribe to her. She's funny. Her rants are great. She has great videos. Her reading taste is very diverse. She's willing to read anything, and she's so fun. I picked out a book for her to read. She picked out a book for me to read, and we're going to do reading vlogs on them and give all of our opinions and whatnot. First up, I'm going to talk about the book that I picked out for her. We were discussing this on Instagram, and we both picked out books that we just really want to hear each other's thoughts on. So my book for her, I'm not going to say what it is because you guys are going to have to go to her video to check it out, but this was a book. I rated it, I think, a 2.75 stars. I had a love-hate relationship with it. There were so many things in that book that I was like, oh, I don't like this at all. But there were also some things that I was like, you know, this is really sweet. I like the story of this. I like where it's going. So some points hit, some points did not hit at all, and I was really questioning it. And since I love listening to her rants on books and just her opinions on books, I was really curious to see how she would feel about this book. I did, in fact, see her Goodreads rating on it. I'm not going to say what it was. I didn't read the review though because I'm waiting for her video to see all of her thoughts, and I cannot wait. Now we're going to get into the book that she picked for me. And it's crazy because I actually wanted to do a video on this book. I had this idea towards the beginning of the year and I kept pushing it off, and she picked this book because I read a book that has similar vibes and she was curious to how these two books compared to each other. She in fact picked Twilight. Guys, I've never read Twilight in my entire life. That's why I'm saying this is like a pivotal moment for me. I've never seen the movie. I really don't even know what the plot of this is. I know there's a vampire, a werewolf, we have Jacob and Edward, we have Bella, and I know Titsoak. I know the movie is very blue. There's a baseball scene. That's all I know. I don't know how I've gone my whole life, not even getting really any spoilers. I feel like, I know who she ends up with, I think, unless I'm wrong about that, I don't know. But I just want to talk about my expectations going into this. I know that I'm going to find this super cringy, and that's one of the points she made when she was picking out this book for me. She wants to see if I'm going to find it really cringy, just because I'm an adult now. She wants to see how this compares to the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. I read the first two books in that series, and that's another vampire type situation, but I'm just going to give you all my thoughts while I'm reading this. I hope you guys are excited. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. I also want to say, I feel like I'm going to be a Jacob girly, because every time there's some sort of a love triangle, I'm always rooting for the other one. I'm actually so nervous. Oh my god. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are buckled up. But here we go. Mimi, you're doing this to me, and I appreciate it. I can't believe you're taking away my Twilight virginity. Oh my god. I can't believe this book is in my hands right now. I never had any intention to read Twilight. I was never really like a vampire werewolf girl. I was always like wizards and witches, that type of fantasy, and that's why I never picked up this book. Let's just do it. Let's just do this. I'm forcing you guys to read the preface with me. Imagine if I just read this entire book to you guys. Like the whole thing. Would I get sued? Let's not find out. I'd never given much thought to how I would die, though I'd had reason enough in the last few months. But even if I had, I would not have imagined it like this. I stared without breathing across the long room, into the dark eyes of the hunter, and he looked pleasantly back at me. Surely it was a good way to die, in the place of someone else, someone I loved. Noble even. That ought to count for something. I knew that if I'd never gone to Forks, I wouldn't be facing death now, but terrified as I was, I couldn't bring myself to regret the decision. When life offers you a dream so far beyond any of your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. The hunter smiled in a friendly way as he sauntered forward to kill me. And now we are on chapter 1. First sight. I'm only in the middle of chapter 1, but I already have to say something. We see the group of vampires. First, this is your typical young person has to change schools, go live with another parent. They're very nervous on their first day. And it's already feeling very nostalgic to me, even though I've never read Twilight. I've never experienced this before, but it's just feeling very nostalgic for everything that I used to read back then. So I'm already getting those feelings of the great life that I was living back then. There's this group of people. They have very pale skin, so we can assume who they are, right? I'm like, all right, Edward's in this group. But she's asking this girl who they are, and then she goes, that's Edward and Emmett Cullen. He has a brother? I didn't know that. And Rosalie and Jasper Hale. I feel like I've heard the name Jasper Hale before. And then Alice Cullen. I literally did not know there were multiple Cullens. I thought it was just Edward. Okay, now I know who they are. I just read the next page. And they moved from Alaska. I had a feeling we were gonna get someone from Alaska or an Alaskan setting. Look at me. I know what I'm talking about. She just described Edward's eyes as a dark ochre. No, a strange ochre, darker than butterscotch, but with the same golden tone. I thought he was supposed to have blue eyes. Does Robert Pattinson have blue eyes? I don't really pay attention to that man, but he actually has brown eyes. I'm on page 146, chapter 9, so about a third of the way through. The first thing I want to say, obviously I'm picturing the 3 characters from the movie, and it's very hard to picture them because they look so much older than high schoolers, but it's hard because their character traits that are explained in this book are not lined up. I find out that Jacob is Native American. He's described with long silky black hair, and I know the picture is out there of Taylor Lautner with long black hair, okay, but then it says russet colored skin, and I'm like, this does not look like Taylor Lautner at all. So then it's got me Googling if Taylor Lautner is Native American, and he has like very faint traces of Native American on his mother's side, I think it was. But I'm like, the first thing you should do when you are casting a movie is to read the character traits. I don't know how it was back when this movie was filmed. I don't know. So I'm confused with the casting. Now I'm picturing Jacob completely different. Now, I wasn't expecting to hate this book, but I did think it was going to be writing where I was like, I don't know how this book is as popular as it is. It's not. I'm actually enjoying this so much, and it's taking me back to my roots, back to middle school when I would have read it if it did come out. Elementary school, I guess, but I don't think we were reading Twilight in elementary school. I don't know. I'm surprised that I'm liking this. I'm enjoying the story for what it is and not just because it's Twilight and it's popular. I do want to say Bella also is one of those characters where she just keeps falling and getting into accidents. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? She also goes to this new school and every single boy has a crush on her. I'm like, all right, go girl. I'm really liking her as a character. She likes reading. She likes to just spend her time alone and not get into all the drama in high school. She's very laid back. Edward's sketchy. And then that is leading me into the fact that obviously this is fantasy. It has vampires and werewolves in it, but it's not giving me fantasy feels. I think because it's a high school setting and it does seem like a classic young adult contemporary read, it doesn't feel like fantasy. And now I'm curious because I don't know the story of Twilight. I don't know where this goes or how crazy it's gonna get. I'm assuming there's feuding between the vampires and the werewolves. I'm used to getting a fantasy where there's the war and you get to know these different sides of these species. All good things so far. I'm really liking this. I'm gonna try to finish this today because this video has to go up in literally 2 days. I'm pushing it and it's over 400 pages. I think it's just over 400 pages. So I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna binge it. I already want to buy the other books. I still don't know what to expect, and I'm so excited to find out what happens. Because obviously the back of the book isn't giving us a lot either, but we'll see. I'm gonna stop talking and we'll get on with it. Bella and Edward are having the most casual conversation about him being a vampire. Like, they literally don't care.
That's okay, 'cause you really wanna play. You can tell by their lies that they'll never go.
He's saying it makes him anxious when he's not around Bella. Is this some like fated mate thing, or is he just weird? Like, what are they right now? I'm confused. I also find it interesting that every book I've read with a vampire, they're always saying going out in sunlight, that's a myth. Like, all these vampire things are myths. I think I want a vampire book where they can't go out in the sun and they have to sleep in a coffin. Oh, I just got the line that's on the back of the book that I read in the beginning. Also, she keeps saying she's cold. I don't know what that means. One of the other dudes, his name is Mike, and he was talking to Bella. He's like, so you and Cullen, huh? And she's like, it's none of your business, blah, blah, blah. Then he was like, he looks at you like you're something to eat. And then I'm thinking, well, you know, because she is. Guys, I can't. There's a French composer. His name's Claude Debussy, and it's been said a couple times in this book already because his music has been playing. Every time I see his name, I say Debussy. I'm so sorry. I can't read it right. It's just making me laugh. I'm sorry, Claude. You do not deserve this. Also, this book is awkward. And I don't understand why every chapter she has to be falling or hitting someone with a racket, hitting herself in the head. I'm over that. But other than that, this is fun. I'm entertained. Also, one of their teachers, he wheeled in the TV. And I said, ooh, I missed that. We made it halfway. I'm about to find out what happens to Edward when he is in the sunlight. At first I was like, dang, it's really rainy there. That sucks. But now it makes sense that he's there because it's rainy and there's not really any sun. So that made me feel really dumb. I'm ready for chaos. I am hoping that we get chaos in this book. I want drama. I want all the excitement between people who just don't like each other. I don't know. I want a whole bunch to go down. I feel like we're inching our way into that direction. Looking at the back, so it has twilight, new moon, eclipse, breaking dawn, midnight sun, which I think midnight sun is Edward's point of view of one of these books, maybe this one. But I know there's 4 main books in this series, so juicy stuff has to be happening, right? I'm on page 213, chapter 13, and I'm ready. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Guys, I think Tisoke is about to happen. Is he about to say it right here? Because she just started talking about what his skin was doing. He's gonna say, this is the skin of a killer, Bella. We did not get Tisoke. Where are you going? We did not get Tisoke. I don't even know if it's a line in the book. Maybe it's a line in the movie. And Edward is completely grossing me out. The way he was talking to Bella and how he feels for her, ew. I did not like his word choice. I just felt really gross the entire chapter. And now that they're all like romancy and stuff, I'm not feeling it. I'm now on chapter 22, page 351, so I have about 50 pages left. I got the chaos that I wanted, not the chaos I was expecting, and I was also expecting more Jacob in this one. So this is not going the way that I thought it would at all. There's a lot of tension right now. I don't know how this is gonna end. Also, the baseball scene, that's another part of the movie that I have seen pictures of and screenshots of, so it was nice to read that scene and see how that played out. But that's when the chaos started happening, and I did not know that that's when that took place. So I gotta find out. I gotta know what happens.
They wanna try just a taste, and you know they will be slaves if you let them inside. Then they'll never go away.
The heck just happened to her? Well, he literally told her mom that she fell down 2 flights of stairs and through a window. Okay. Then he says, you have to admit, it could happen. Yeah, because she trips every 2 seconds. I don't understand why she has to do that. Ew, do I taste as good as I smell? I hate this. Okay, so there's an epilogue. I didn't know there was an epilogue. But we have Tyler popping back up, and I don't know what's gonna go on. I felt suspicious of him. It could be nothing. But I feel like maybe something's up with him. Okay, she did be kind of dumb. They're literally dressed up, and now she's mad because they're going to prom. Girl, if it's the day of prom, and he made you get dressed up, where do you think you're going? Let's see how many times she falls at prom.
And you wanna misbehave if you let me inside, and I'll never go away. I feel your teeth sinking.
Holy crap, she did not trip at the prom. It's a miracle. I'm gonna uncozy and then we're gonna chat. I thought that I would have a lot of spoiler thoughts that I would want to talk about, but I literally don't at all. There wasn't anything too intense in here to where I felt like I need to describe a scene in detail to you guys. My main takeaways, it's entertaining. The romance grosses me out, but probably just because I'm an adult now. If I read this when I was in high school or middle school, I'm pretty sure that I would have loved it even more. I also had a hard time trying to figure out what time frame we were in, because it starts out she's going to this new school, and then there was a scene where it happened to be months later. It didn't feel like we were jumping months and months as this book was going on. The writing didn't make me feel like all this time was passing. I can't get over the fact that Bella is so ridiculously clumsy. And towards the end, she was running, and she was like, oh, I was tripping every 2 steps. Like, how does one actually have that happen? Those are the only things that I guess I didn't really like. I do wish we got more of Jacob. Once we got introduced to him, I thought the whole love triangle thing was gonna break out. I didn't know that there wasn't a lot of him in the first book, so now I have to continue the series. Of course I was gonna do that anyway, but now I'm really curious to see where Jacob's storyline goes, because at the end, his family, there's something up with him. I was surprised that we got a backstory on Edward's family. I didn't think we were gonna get a lot of history on certain aspects. But yeah, I liked Bella as her character. I liked her friend group that was happening. It was very high school with all of her friends and the boys they had crushes on or whatever, so that was fun to read about, very nostalgic. I can finally say that I've read Twilight. I'm probably gonna watch the movie tonight or just have it on. I'm not really someone who can focus on movies. I don't like movies too much. I have things to edit. I'll probably put it on in the background and just glimpse at it every so often to see who the characters are and what they look like in the movie and where the plot goes and how much it's similar to the book. I'm probably gonna give this, I don't really want to give my rating right now, but I have to. I'm not going to say a 4 just because there was a lot of repetitiveness with the clumsiness, and there were other things that kept getting repeated, and I don't like repetition in books. If I had been younger and if we were in the past, I would rate this higher than what I'm about to. As an adult, I would probably rate this a 3.5. I enjoyed it more than an average read, but it was still a little cringy. I'm between like a 3.5 and a 3.75. I can't believe that I have read this now, and I can say that I have. Once again, thank you, Mimi, for recommending this book to me to read in this video. I'm so glad that I finally got to collaborate with a YouTuber in a video. I can't wait to watch her video. Make sure you guys go check hers out. I will have it linked in the description. Her channel will be tagged in the title as well. I was gonna say one more thing though. I always do this. I'm like, I had something to say and then I start talking about something else and then I forget what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember instantly. I just have to question what I was trying to think about. I think I said this earlier, but the reason Mimi recommended this to me is because, well, one, she read Twilight when she was younger and I have never read it. She knew that I'd never read it, so of course that was a reason why she wanted to pick it. But she knew that I read Crave by Tracy Wolff. She wanted to see how that compared to Twilight. Crave is definitely a lot cringier. A lot cringier. It's a lot longer, and Crave has more fantasy elements to where there's potential to break out in a war between different species, like different creatures. This one was a lot laid back. It seemed more contemporary. We get a high school setting. Crave had an academy setting, so they were going to school, but the people in that world knew about monsters, and so far people don't know about vampires and stuff in this world. This one is your typical YA with a little bit of fantasy elements thrown in there because we have vampires. There's nothing too intense about this one. I would say the romance in both of them are a little weird. I do like Twilight better though. I think I can actually continue the series. I did DNF the Crave series after book 2, but I did like this a lot more than that. It just felt like a better read. So that's it, guys. That's Twilight. That is a pivotal moment in my life. I have finally read the Twilight first book. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I love doing it. I had so much fun. And don't forget to check out Mimi's channel and her video. Go subscribe to her. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Give it a like, comment, whatever you want. And I guess that's it. So I will see you guys in my next video, whatever that may be. I hope you have a great day and a great night wherever you are. And go watch some Twilight. Bye.